Thank you, Madam and Mr. Chair, for bringing us together for this joint bipartisan hearing so we can speak with one voice on this important topic. The conflict in Burma reverberates far beyond its borders, and I want to focus especially on the instability it creates in South Asia. The largest refugee encampment in the world is in Bangladesh, home to a forgotten crisis, the 1.5 million Rohingya refugees who fled ethnic cleansing at the hands of the Burmese military junta in what the United States determined to be a genocide in 22. For the Rohingya, Rakhine State in Burma is their motherland and their home. But for decades, they have been treated as outsiders in their own land, targeted by the military, maligned by other Burmese ethnic minorities, and stripped of their citizenship. The Rohingya are now the world's largest stateless population, a status passed down from one generation to the next. Years after renewed ethnic cleansing and the outbreak of civil war, the Rohingya in Burma are still the large target of brutal genocidal violence. The Arakan Army, an ethnic armed organization that resumed fighting the military junta in late 23, has massacred the Rohingya in territory under its control. This has forced an additional 150,000 Rohingya to seek safety in Bangladesh in the past 18 months alone. In Cox's Bazar, however, the Rohingya confront another harrowing set of challenges. Bangladesh, which faces major strains on its state capacity, has demonstrated incredible generosity in hosting the Rohingya refugees, a responsibility that must be shouldered by the entire international community. And while we all share the same goal for the Rohingya to live safely as equal citizens in their home country, policies to ensure that the refugee camps remain a temporary solution have in many ways had the opposite effect. Instead, it has deprived the Rohingya of their agency to build a life for themselves and end their reliance on government and international support. The Rohingya do not have the right to work or the freedom of movement to leave the camps. They have limited access to any livelihood or educational opportunities, depriving them of the right to human development. They are not permitted to build permanent structures, resulting in vulnerability to flooding, landslides, and fires, and constant costly rebuilding. Insecurity in the camps has exploded as armed groups battle for dominance and traffic young Rohingya into prostitution, slavery, or conscription in the Burmese military. Women and girls are disproportionately impacted, as always, with an uptick in gender-based violence and child marriages as conditions deteriorate. The Rohingya crisis requires sustained U.S. leadership to support the Bangladesh government, ensure robust assistance and improvements to the humanitarian response, and to find permanent solutions for many of the Rohingya. Alleviating the pressure on Bangladesh's limited state capacity is essential to promoting stability in the country, as the interim government works to rebuild from past authoritarian rule and manage its political transition ahead of elections next year. While I was glad to see the administration announce new funding pledges to support Rohingya refugees, the $168 million the administration provided in fiscal year 25 is less than half of the $354.5 million the United States provided in 24, even as humanitarian needs arise. Such a significant funding cut will directly impact the lives of Rohingya, whose food rations amount to about $12 a day. The U.S. must also work with the Bangladesh government and our partners in the region to improve conditions for the Rohingya, both within the camps and to find sustainable solutions outside the camps. This, first and foremost, requires a cohesive regional strategy that goes beyond a singular focus on tariffing our partners or pursuing a Nobel Peace Prize. Resettling Rohingya refugees to safe third countries is an essential part of this effort. If the State Department is engaging other countries to accept U.S. deportation flights, they should also be working with partners to resettle stranded refugees into a long-term solution. With newly confirmed leadership in the South and Central Asia Bureau, I hope to see sustained diplomatic engagement and resource prioritization for the Rohingya refugee crisis. And I am ready to work with the administration on a bipartisan basis to push for sustained solutions for the Rohingya, especially as Bangladesh elects a new government early next year. I look forward to today's robust discussion and how we can work together to address the Rohingya crisis and the conflict in Burma that is driving it. Thank you, and I yield back.